Hello, everyone. Adventurers, wastelanders, space people, aliens that hang out with the space people and definitely aren't violent towards space people and or other aliens. Welcome to the PIPCAST 3000. I'm Caedo Genesis with my co-hosts, Jared of Jared Gaming.
Hello.
Sarge, unfortunately, is ill right now. He's the illest. So wish him the best.
Yes.
I lost my train of thought completely. This is a bi-weekly podcast where we talk about gaming news and other stuff related to gaming and have a dedicated topic, usually related to Fallout or open world games or Bethesda something. This time, it's time for a gamer article, or the gamer article. Jared, you picked this one out. It's Fallout 4 16 things to do after you beat the game.
Wow.
There's a lot of things you can do after you beat Fallout 4 because it does have post-game, a post-game situation. So we're going to be talking about that when we get to the topic.
And I definitely beat it.
You definitely beat it at least once.
Definitely beat it at least once.
Yeah. We're trying to convince everybody listening too. But we have some news to get through. We had the timestamps on screen for a bit, but it's probably on the B-roll now. But the chapter points, you can jump to the topic if you want to. We got a lot of stuff to talk about and make fun of today, including the Mario movie trailer. So I don't know, stay tuned if you want. But we're gonna start with talk about our sponsor, which is this podcast is brought to you by Immersion. So this is a running gag on the show since episode 32.
Wow.
I scanned back and searched the closed captions, the auto captions, to see when we were first just saying immersion all the time, and it was episode 32.
Dang.
I think it was off recording that like I was trying to think of the word immersion, and it was like a good solid like 5-10 minutes where I just couldn't think of the word. And that just eventually started turn into a joke, thanks to Jared.
Yeah.
So now there is merch in my spring store. If you want to get a hoodie that says PIPCAST 3000 brought to you by Immersion, or get a sticker, there's now a stick. This is like the first sticker that I've made too for the store. But I haven't updated the merch in like 2 years, so I think it was probably about time.
Nice.
So if any of you listening are interested in that or want some extra layers in the form of a hoodie for the winter months, hey, there's an option for you if you want. And if you want to feel immersed in that hoodie, it'll be like a double meaning thing.
Ooh.
So we also grab a comment of the cast from the previous episode. And Jared, would you please?
Yes. Yes, I will.
Thank you.
Comment of the cast is brought to us by Jerry Banks. And he says, "Don't let him beat you down, Sarge. First person is better."
And everybody knows why we picked this one. If you weren't here last episode, Sarge was again saying how much he enjoys playing first-person shooters, and that I was giving him crap because he was playing a third-person game.
What was he playing? You
You
remember? Because
My Time in Portia was one of them.
Oh, that's right.
Which is definitely not a first-person shooter game.
No.
It's very far from that, actually. So, well, thank you for the comment, Jerry Banks. I do want to make a shirt, some sort of merch, something involving like all of the ways Sarge says he plays shooter games right after talking about playing a third person something or other.
I'd buy it.
You would?
Heck yeah. And
Yeah,
everyone
man.
listening should buy it too.
Yeah. Once it's made.
Yeah. It will.
Or are we talking about the immersion thing?
All of it.
Oh, okay. Just get all of my merch.
All
of it.
the merch.
Mm-hmm.
There's several
Yes.
designs.
Yes, please. Anyway, let's get started with the news.
Let's
Jared?
do it.
Stadia. Dun dun dun.
I
Stadia
was just thinking about doing that.
is shutting down. To the surprise of no one,
Yeah.
This is an official. The source that we linked for this one down below is the official statement on Stadia and what's happening with it. But yeah, they pulled the trigger on the date that Stadia is getting shut down, and it is going to be in January 18th, 2023. And from what I could tell, they were also issuing refunds. Refunds to all Stadia hardware purchases made through the Google Store and all game and add-on content purchases made through the Stadia Store.
Oh, wow.
They didn't have to do that.
No, they didn't.
They are a corporation. They did not have any obligation to do that whatsoever.
They could have pulled a Blizzard and just dropped Overwatch 1 completely.
Yeah. Well, that's a different...
I'm just saying, like, yeah, I'm agreeing with you, essentially.
Yeah. So if you have a Stadia or something, we have the thing linked below, and it has a link to the help center on it. So
Nice.
if our one viewer who has a Stadia wants to refund it, please.
Did you ever have a chance to try it?
No.
Me neither.
No. I don't think I know enough people that are like into the new technology as much. When I worked security, like I had coworkers that were all about like different new stuff. Like I had one that was into crypto too, and I definitely hope, I haven't talked to him in a while, but I hope he hasn't gotten sucked into NFTs. I really hope that. Like I dread talking to him next because I'm worried that he'll bring it up.
Hey bro, you heard about NFTs? No.
Yes. They're a scam. They're terrible. They're one of the worst things ever to come out of technology. I don't even know if that's true.
Yeah, I mean,
they're bad though.
it's pretty bad though.
Okay.
I feel like the idea of Stadia was a decent idea.
Yeah. And they
for all intents and purposes, it should have worked. But
it could have, if they had probably more of a game library for one.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like, at least how they're reporting it, like it sounds like the technology itself is not going to waste, and they're going to, use what they learned with that streaming technology to work on other Google related things.
Very good.
YouTube, Google Play, and augmented reality stuff. I am cherry picking the blog post, by the way. Or announcement, whatever you call this thing. Speaking of cherry picking, there's also a Last of Us trailer that we could, I don't know, maybe summarize.
I mean, it's The Last of Us.
Yeah, there's going to be a Last of Us HBO series. I don't know if we need to, actually, because like it looks like it's just the Ellie and dude man. Joel. Yes, thank you.
I remember the name.
You remembered.
A cookie for me.
Immersion.
Immersion. Mods fixed me.
Yeah, they did. That's the next one too, by the way.
Right, I know.
Mm-hmm. So they had like a really short scene of a clicker, which is the most replayed. You can see most replayed moments in timelines now. And that's the most replayed moment in the trailer.
Of course.
They're building up that suspense for the clickers in the series. I don't know. I don't have HBO Max, so I don't know if I'll ever watch it.
Yeah.
But,
I don't have it either. It looks pretty, like, for someone who's played the game, the first game, never did finish the second game, barely played it actually, not because it was bad, I just never got around to it. Like, it doesn't look like it looks like it's nailing the look of it, from what I could tell.
Yeah. It seems like it's got the vibe.
Yeah. I like the guy that they got to play Joel. Kind of looks like him. There's certain lighting conditions. I think it's the same actor who plays the Mandalorian under the mask.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I haven't watched it.
Oh.
So,
my friend.
wait, what?
You haven't watched the Mandal? Never mind. We don't need to talk about the Mandal.
What are you, some kind of Star Wars nerd?
What? How dare you?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm a Skyrim nerd, so you can get Skyrim Anniversary for $70 on Nintendo.
Wow. So that means I'll have 20,000 different copies of this game.
Yep. You know what's great? You know what's great about getting Skyrim for $70 on Nintendo?
Do tell.
That's the first time by appearance that a game has been listed for $70 on Nintendo.
What? Really?
Mm-hmm. That's why this is news.
Oh yeah, digital anniversary. Wow.
Yeah. And so I am still curious because I haven't seen whether or not this was a decision by Bethesda or Microsoft or by Nintendo. It could be any of them.
Well, considering that you said that it's the first game to ever cost that much, it makes me think it was not Nintendo because it goes against their track record. That doesn't mean that that's true, but
yeah,
my first inclination is that it was probably a Microsoft thing.
Could be, but I'm still of the mind that full price for games shouldn't be $70.
Yeah, I agree.
I am also not someone who develops games.
Right.
The talking heads like to say, you know, game development has gotten more expensive, but I'm also pretty sure, this is just my own seeing of things and technology. Technology and software and hardware has been a lot more easily accessible now too, for people. Again, I could just be blowing smoke, but it seems like the easier something is to make doesn't mean it should be more expensive.
Skyrim is how old? I mean, I know it's Anniversary Edition.
Yeah, Anniversary is 10-year-old game.
So it's it's the same game.
Yeah, it's the same game with all the Creation Club stuff.
It costs more now than it did when it came out, but it's the same game.
Yes.
Looks the same, plays the same. Some extra creation kit crap no one cares about.
I mean, I played some of the Creation Club stuff in it, and it's actually pretty fun.
But they're mods.
But they're fun.
But I thought you didn't like mods.
Okay. Is this the rest of the podcast? Is that what's gonna happen?
No. I'm just giving you a hard time. No, I wouldn't pay I will not pay $70 for this game. And here's why, because I already own it on the Switch as a normal version.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna buy it again, but I don't think that I would anyways.
I'm curious about the Switch version actually, since you did say you have it. Is it the special edition version, or is it just Skyrim, like non-special edition?
I think it's special edition. Unfortunately, my Switch is sitting over here not plugged in and has been dead for several months now, and I can't bring it up to show you, but I'm pretty sure it's special edition. Because
on the store page that is linked, if you get the regular like digital or physical edition, it just says The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, not special edition.
You're right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would honestly I'd have to fire up the old Switch and actually get into it and see. I would imagine it was a special edition, but I could be wrong.
I know it's got the Link outfit.
Yeah.
So it might be special edition.
Now, that Link outfit with the Master Sword and the shield is so immersive.
So much immersion. Yeah. Anyway, don't pay $70 for Skyrim.
Just don't.
That's the moral of the story. Just don't.
Yeah.
Get Game Pass.
Right.
Grab your Nintendo Switch, throw it in the garbage.
As long as Skyrim's been out. You know what else has been out for quite a while?
What's that?
game, maybe you've heard of it. Fallout.
Really?
Yeah. At least 25 years.
I don't believe it.
Believe it, bub. I don't know. I'm assuming they're talking not just current Fallout, but the originals as well. Because has it been 25 years since the new ones?
Just the franchise.
Just
like,
a franchise, okay. It's like,
since,
I don't think I'm
since
quite
the
that
first game, because it came out in 97.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, happy 25th anniversary, Fallout.
Woo!
The perks, though, are mostly 76 related.
Yeah, go figure.
For how Bethesda is celebrating this. So there's been 76 related giveaways, the Prime Gaming giveaway for getting you can claim a free Windows Store code for Fallout 76. There's a questionnaire to learn which faction you belong in. That's
What? There's that. I want to do that.
That's just a BuzzFeed thing. Don't do that. Don't invest in that. Xbox Game Pass perks. Hey, get 1 free month with Fallout First membership with Xbox Game Pass. So if you're getting on, or just if you're playing 76 on Game Pass, then you get a free month of Fallout First or something cool. There's a series of giveaways going on with the Fallout 4 Creation Club stuff. There's the Invaders from Beyond event, which is 76. There's the Twitch anniversary kickoff stream, which was already happened.
Right.
The Pit Free Play Week is still happening for a tiny bit more time. If you want to do a free play of 76, it's probably, I want to guess it's a free play on Steam too, because the Bethesda launcher isn't a thing anymore.
Right.
And also, if Xbox Dynamic Background, which was on the 4th, I don't know if that's available anymore. Yeah.
How do I? Yeah, you can't even click on it. What the heck?
Yeah, it's very strange. Very strange how they did this whole thing.
Oh, you gotta maybe scroll down. Yeah, I think you gotta just scroll down more. Yeah, you scroll down because there's the PALs media department. If you keep going down, it looks like there's a link to that. It looks like a link that you'd get a virus from, but I believe it is. I'm gonna click it for science. Oh, it leads to the tweet. Why? Oh, it's
like a maze of links. It's like a labyrinth of links.
It is strange, but it's a dynamic background for the Xbox.
Yeah.
What? That does me no good. I have no Xbox. It looked so cool. I want that on my actual PC screen. Man, I'll just do the PALs thing and let you know what happens.
Yeah.
That's the questionnaire that you told me not to do.
Yeah, don't. Don't BuzzFeedify this.
I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna tell you what the results are at the end.
No, unless you're recording it. You have to record it if you're doing it.
See, this is the hook.
This is content.
If you want to know the results of the PALs questionnaire, listen to the end of the PIPCAST.
Okay, we got to put that in the what you're playing then.
Shoot.
There we go. Then you can remind yourself.
Okay. Now I have to actually do it. Dang it.
Yeah. Speaking of weird things that were made for Bethesda, that was a weird segue because
Hey.
I do enjoy this this aspect. The person who made Oblivion's lockpicking game, was this you or was this Sarge that linked this?
This must have been Sarge.
Dag
It was not
nabbit.
me. Dang
Okay.
it, that guy's not even here.
Well, gosh darn it, Sarge. You linked something cool and now you're not here to talk about it.
Nah.
So this is another one of the cool interviews of a member of Bethesda Game Studios, Eric Dietrich, the senior UI programmer at Bethesda Game Studios. He has left a mark on Fallout, The Elder Scrolls, and now Starfield.
Ooh.
That's the headline. Nice hook, right? This guy is also the person who made Oblivion's lockpicking minigame. Everybody loves that one.
Yeah. That was great. Don't remember it though. I haven't played Oblivion in so long, man.
It's the Tumblr minigame.
Oh.
That's like one of my memories of you. Like, I remember watching you play Oblivion.
Oh.
Yeah, that was one of the games I saw you play.
Oh.
And you were doing the lockpick minigame, and I was like, what the heck? How does that even work? My little brain couldn't understand. My little baby teenager brain.
It's up there with the persuasion mechanic.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Man, that was weird too. And it still is. So this is a cool interview. He talked about the favorite projects he worked on. He said while he was working on Skyrim, he remembered back to a time when he was in high school and had bought Wolfenstein and was explaining to a friend who gamed how great it was, and he needed to play it. It was the first FPS he had played, was blown away at any rate, told his friend he loved it, and what I really wanted was something similar, but in a medieval world with an axe and a shield as I made my way through a dungeon. Getting to work on the game you've wanted to play since high school is amazing. So if you want more than just that, this is linked down below as well. I would talk about it more, but this is something Sarge linked and I was unprepared.
Yeah.
So thank you for the link, Sarge.
Thank you, Sarge.
I think we both have something to say about the next thing, though.
Yeah. Oh, I think you're right.
Would you like to? Would you like to?
Would I?
Would you like?
Yeah. Game of the year. Game of the year, maybe the century.
Yep.
Cyberpunk 2077 by our good friends at CD Projekt Red that only make good games and nothing broken.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, apparently they've just announced not like another anime, not DLC, but an entire sequel to Cyberpunk 2077. And they're calling it Project Orion.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, is funny.
Yeah. Yep. Sure is. Sure is, bud.
Why do you think it's funny? I bet it's the same reason I think it's funny, but I want to hear you say it.
There's a lot of words in my head right now, aside from funny, that I would like to use, but this is a PG podcast. So I've ranted about this over the course of the last week, regularly to multiple people. I don't do that very often unless it's something that's like that I'm really about, a hot, spicy topic, and this is that one. I'm taking a very long time getting to the point, aren't I?
It's okay.
So, so when Cyberpunk was announced, it was like 2013, yeah. Like we had that teaser with the lady with the. No, it wasn't even that. It was just like telling us that it was a thing. Was like the 2013 thing, and then we got the trailer with the lady with the mantis blades.
Oh.
and the bullet like shattering on her cheek and stuff like that really cool like cyberpunk scene. When that trailer came out, it was like 2016, 2015. Maybe it was earlier than that, I don't know. So CD Projekt Red has this problem that a lot of people see, including The Gamer. I saw one of their opinion pieces and it was actually fairly well written.
Wow.
About this being a double-edged sword. The amount of IPs they just announced, including Project Orion, which is a Cyberpunk sequel, they're working on, reportedly by them, 3 Witcher games. 3 Witcher games.
That's a lot.
Also this, and also a brand new IP.
Wow.
they were using the guise of this is us being transparent. I think that they're doing the exact same thing that they did with Cyberpunk and building hype to investors and to players way too early.
Yeah. Like, come on.
I could be wrong here, but like, and I think the one of the major problems is ego. Like once they got that one, like that one endorphin boost from Edgerunners, which is good, by the way. Edgerunners is good. The Edgerunners update has some cool stuff in it. I'm gonna rant about Cyberpunk later, so I'm getting the good parts out right now.
Sure.
Like, it feels like they're still riding that high, and like even the announcement video like they put up was very much aimed at investors and like hiring and stuff like that, just doing a very similar thing to what they have already done. And I feel like it's gonna end in some nasty crunch and a crash and a burn again, unless there's a course correction.
I think you're right. Which is
but
a shame
I could just
for
be
all these future games that they're planning.
Yeah, I could just be a cynical gamer about it, which is possible.
Rightfully so, though.
But I've been thinking about this a lot. And I'm seeing a lot of patterns here that's a bit worrying to me for the possible Siri game that we're likely going to get too. Like,
right.
I really want that. But I don't want it to come out like Cyberpunk.
No. Come out like Witcher 3.
I also don't want it to be marketed as having a whole bunch of things that it doesn't have. It simply doesn't have and doesn't get through patches. Because that's also Cyberpunk.
Yeah. If they promise wall running in the Siri game and they don't give it to us.
Yeah.
I know Sarge will be upset.
Yeah, Sarge will be I think any CDPR game that doesn't have wall running, Sarge is just gonna like check it off the list of things where he just like nope,
not playing it.
So yeah, I want to know, since this is a hot button topic, and like we have the thing, you know, linked below, as well as like that article from Polygon is also linking, you know, the investment video they put out, which, by the way, like the CDPR investment videos are the promotional videos and like status, transparency, whatever videos, whatever they call it. Those are strictly for investors, so they're kind of boring. Like, it's like board meeting stuff, like they're putting up charts and graphs and like it's that. So if that's not your speed, that's fine. Like, but just know that they keep doing this, and it's really annoying at this point. Like, just make something and then show it. Like, that's what I'm into more, is like make something that's don't like doctor it up. Don't make it look like something that doesn't release. Just make something and then show it. I don't know why it's that hard. I don't know why it's so hard for them.
It's funny that they talk about transparency, but then, you know, Cyberpunk happens still. Like, all the things you just said. Just give us stuff, tell us what we're getting, and then give it to us.
It's just corpo speak.
Dude. Yeah.
Just corpo speak. Just yeah.
They need a mod to change the corpos in Cyberpunk 2077. Didn't just call them CD Projekt Red. Like, oh no, here comes the CD Projekt Red. They're coming after me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the whole like dystopian hellscape and being reflected in the reality of the development of the game too was just like icing on the cake. Anyway, let's move. I could keep going, but we should.
Yeah. I know, man. I know. Something
that has some corpo stench to it, but also looks like a cool IP, is Wild Hearts. This is a, sadly for Sarge, third-person action game, but it is in the vein of Monster Hunter. It has a Japanese art direction to it. Also, you know, shares some mechanics with some other cooperative kind of games. I was seeing like a zip line you can place for your friends and stuff like that. But the main thing, obviously, is hunting big monsters, with cooperatively with your friends, which I'm into quite often. So I've been keeping my eye on this, but this the sticking point for my brain, at least a lot of the time, is that this is part of the EA Originals program, which, from what I hear, is kind of a good thing, because it's allowing EA kind of allowing a space for like actual innovation to happen, or actual different takes on things to happen, instead of just playing it safe all the time. Because trying to build a competitor for Monster Hunter, a franchise that has been around for since the early 2000s and has become very good at what they do, it's really hard to get into that niche. So I'm looking forward to seeing what else we see from Wild Hearts. But what we linked was a 7-minute gameplay trailer. Like, they dropped a teaser and they dropped a trailer like a week after, which was crazy. Maybe even sooner than that, actually. Because they had a lot to show off. It's a very pretty game. Monster Hunter Rise, anyway, has the wire bug mechanic, which allows you to have just like full mobility everywhere. It's like Spider-Man without needing to attach to anything.
Ooh.
But this game has an interesting like bamboo construction auto constructor thing that just becomes a variety of tools and implements to use in the hunt. It can be like a little helicopter glider thing, it could be the zipline thing, it could be a jumping platform, it could be an explosive, like all kind of stuff. At least that's what I gather from the gameplay there. So that as a mechanic does look kind of neat, especially if other players can utilize the stuff that you put out.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
You know what it kind of reminds me of?
What's that?
Fortnite.
Like
building while you're fighting and stuff.
Yeah. I
mean, obviously not exactly, because Fortnite is mostly guns and stuff like that. But
yeah, you're not building the frame though. You're probably just like choosing something, then placing it down.
Gadgets and stuff.
Yeah, but
it looks cool.
That part in particular got me a little excited, because on the side of Monster Hunter, like, you are working together to hunt monsters and stuff like that, and you can do different things to assist in the fight. But Monster Hunter doesn't really have that, except for maybe like tripping your allies. that really comes to mind, or just like something you can put down that will help your teammates. Like, you can give team buffs, like that's always been a thing, or almost always been a thing, but like not to this degree. You can't just like put down like a springboard or something like that to launch your friends. At least I don't think so. Well, Rise has like endemic life you can put down. But the people I play with and myself usually just use it to prank each other. Like, it doesn't really have a practical use during a hunt.
Right.
So I want to see more stuff like this. That's what I'm saying.
Yes. Agreed.
So just imagining somebody putting like one of the springboard things like up on a ledge or something like that, like, so all of you can just jump off and onto the monster at the same time. I think that'd be pretty sick. Anyway,
think so too.
I want to see more from this.
I will say that if you guys want to play it, I would play it with you. Even though you know how I feel about Monster Hunter and stuff, I would still do it because I enjoy playing with you guys.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind.
And I'm already a little disappointed it's the last co-op, so.
Oh.
I got a little butt mad because Kite and I played a little bit further in, and it started like unraveling badly.
That's
I gave it a negative review on Steam.
Oh no.
Because of the co-op.
Oh man. That was really
just for the devs to see it. Just for hopefully the devs to see it, so like they fix the co-op. It's because that's the reason I bought it. But the reason I bought it doesn't work, then anyway.
Yeah. Anyway.
Speaking of being negative about stuff in video games, the Mario movie trailer dropped.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I have seen it.
Have you seen it? What do you think? What do you think of Jack Black Bowser?
First impressions.
Yeah.
It was okay. Jack Black as Bowser, didn't have a problem with that.
Yeah, same.
Like,
I know,
it actually painted Bowser in a more badass. Can I say ass?
Yeah.
Badass. In a more badass way than I was expecting. To be perfectly honest, like Bowser's, he's a big turtle dragon thing, whatever, breathes fire.
I feel like they pitch shifted him a little bit.
They might
for
have
the Bowser voice.
But he's also an accomplished musician, so he probably knows how to change his voice.
Probably that too. Yeah, that's true. I still
Bowser
have a little
bit
of hate for Jack Black, just because, like, we. I ranted about him when we were playing like Borderlands on the Borderlands streams.
I don't remember. You'll have to remind me.
I was getting mad. I was just salty about him having a YouTube channel.
Right, using his like already established fame to just have an instantly successful YouTube channel without really having to work for it.
With barely any content at the time too. like barely anything, and like saying he's gonna make gaming content and just not most of the time.
Yeah.
Because it was called like Jablinski Games and there wasn't much games. I haven't looked at it lately, but
I haven't either.
But as Bowser, he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I know
he's pretty cool.
One person in my life in particular is gonna like really dislike what I just said.
Oh.
But the intro for this teaser trailer was Bowser and like a whole bunch of the penguin folk things.
Like a kingdom of those penguins.
Like just about to go to war. And I'm like, all right, this is a pretty cool way to start a teaser trailer, right?
Yeah.
But then I was reminded by other news sources that this is a Mario movie.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen Mario yet.
Uh-huh.
So this trailer shows everyone else except Mario for the first minute and a half.
Yeah.
It's a 2.5 minute trailer. And then Chris Pratt as Mario speaks. I recommend anybody who hasn't listened to go check it out.
Yeah. It's Sonic the Hedgehog all over again, but in a different thing.
He didn't say enough for me to like be like super put off yet, but it's also concerning that it's just Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
And not like a happy-go-lucky higher pitch kind of Mario style voice.
Well, what everyone's used to.
Yeah. And there's also a lot of complaints about like just generally, even though they have perfectly good voice actors who have done the character for like decades or years or decades, he's still alive, by the way.
Yes.
The voice of Mario. Like he could have done this, but instead Hollywood deciding, oh, this actor must do it in an animated film, mind you. So like that's one of the big, points of contention. I think I've said that phrase enough times during this podcast. That that might be the part of the root of why video game films don't do very well a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Is because part of the soul of those characters is usually lying with the voice actors that are passionate about the project, are passionate about the game IP, and not, putting out just Hollywood cash grab.
I mean, that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
Like there's no I mean, yeah, it annoys
Welcome to the
me
Sad
as
Cast 3000.
Oh.
We're talking about capitalism.
Yeah, it's a shame. Anytime something like this comes out, I'm like suspiciously hopeful. Like I'm hopeful for it to be good, but I'm suspicious that it probably won't be.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with Chris Pratt personally, and I think he's probably talented enough to do Mario proper and do it well. And like you said, there's only like 2 lines. He says one thing that sounds like Chris Pratt, and then he says another thing that makes it sound like he's from like Brooklyn.
That's why I wanted to hear more, because like I know he's capable.
Yeah.
Because I've seen him in, well, Guardians of the Galaxy, for example.
Sure. Yeah. Parks and Rec. If you haven't seen it.
I never watched Parks and Rec, but like I've seen, I've seen like clips of it and stuff like that. And he's like one of the highlight characters anyway.
Yeah. For real.
I know that much.
You know what it kind of is giving me vibes of?
What's that?
The old Mario movie. The really horrible one that we all still kind of actually secretly like, but it was really bad.
No, that's a guilty pleasure of mine. I'll admit it.
Yeah, because like, is there a point in not spoiling the teaser? It's only a teaser. Like, he kind of shows up, like, not sure where he is, which is kind of the premise of the old movie.
Yeah, you're right.
And in the old movie, they were from New York. They were from Italy.
Oh
so
my
it kind of feels like they're
it's just a remake of the 90s film.
It's a remake of the old movie. What's that guy's name? Boss Hoskin? His name who played Mario? Where's he at? But yeah, that's what came to mind when I saw this, because Mario shows up, and the feeling I got was like he didn't know where he was, and it was all new, and
Mm-hmm.
And then the second line that he does is very, very much clearly, to me at least, trying to be Brooklyn or New York in some region. I don't have a super great ear for that region of accent, so I could be wrong in that, but yeah. Just thought it was interesting.
Yep. I'm still probably going to watch it at some point.
Yeah.
Just to make sure it's bad or good or whatever. Because there's this little part of us, all of us, that want a game property movie to be good.
Yes. Oh, God,
and we will remain hopeful with that little sliver.
Because eventually, statistically, it has to happen.
It has to happen. Yeah. But like, for like the first Sonic movie was all right. It was all right. I enjoyed it. But the second Sonic movie started to go a little too off the rails, off script.
I actually never saw either of them.
Where it became less about Sonic and more about the humans that nobody cares about.
God. That's like Transformers, man. No one cares about the humans. Let me see more robots.
Yeah. Also the Godzilla film that had Bryan Cranston, who died within the first like 30 minutes. That's not a spoiler.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
All right, we paid for our trailer bait anyway. Let's get on to something that's more fun. That's more fun to do than just rag on Hollywood and celebrities and stuff. Let's rag on Fallout 4 and the gamer instead.
Yeah.
That's our topic. Fallout 4, 16 things to do after you beat the game. This is written by Matthew Wilkinson. Thank you, Matthew.
Thanks, Matt.
We may take the piss. We may give you some props. We'll see. I'm trying my best to be nicer to the people that write these.
Right. Because there's still people with, jobs.
Yeah. But if you get something just totally incorrect, I'm gonna make fun of you about it, or make fun of you for it. That's grammar.
Public schools, am I right?
Should I start us off? I'll start us off.
Okay, go for it.
This says Fallout 4 doesn't end after the main quest. Here's a bunch of stuff you can do once you're done. Whenever people complete the main storyline of a video game, there's a huge sense of accomplishment, but also a feeling of, what now? For a lot of video games, there's nothing else to do, with gamers having to move on to a new challenge. However, when it comes to the Fallout franchise, that is not the case. As anybody who has played a Fallout game will know, there is so much going on that the game certainly does not end when the main quest has been completed. And that is especially true in Fallout 4, which is arguably the strongest game in the franchise. Matthew, you disappoint me. I'm not even at the list yet. I think he just wants to get people to start commenting immediately. I think that's what this is. I don't think he truly believes that. I think this is bait. I think this is a bait and switch. I'm gonna keep reading. When the main quest for the game has been accomplished, there is still so much more that can be done in the game. Updated July 6th, 2022 by Ben Jesse. Anyone who's played Fallout game knows the main story is only part of the overall experience. In fact, some of the best things in the game are outside of the main narrative. Okay, so this was updated just so the timestamp could be updated too. So this was probably written a while ago. But they update them with these little blurbs. At least that's my guess. Just to make their dates accurate or dates more recent.
Yeah.
To trick the Google, you know.
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks. Thanks, Ben. Appreciate it. So final paragraph of this. So when you've completed the main quest, there is still a litany of enjoyable things to do. This list intends to shine a light on the main ones. However, a few significant activities didn't make it onto the original version. Therefore, we've updated the piece to add them. Oh, so maybe this started as 10 and they added like 6 more or something.
Oh,
maybe they did actually update it. Wow. But that still did update the date on it. So, you know, they still win either way.
Did we just simultaneously wow?
Wow.
We sure as heck did.
Okay, I did the intro. You want to do the...
It makes sense for me to do the first one here, actually. It makes sense. Number 16. Play around with mods. How appropriate. Are we reading the Okay.
It's be really short otherwise.
This is true. I don't it helps me sometimes to verbalize things. Anyways. Play around with mods. How appropriate that this is the one that we start off with. And it's me. Bethesda games are known for their outrageous mods, and Fallout 4 is no different. The game's fan base has created countless mods of all different kinds. Whether you're looking to make Fallout 4 sillier, scarier, or more realistic, the modding community has you covered. This guy gets it. And after you've completed the main narrative is the best time to install them, as you don't have to worry about them ruining your story experience. However, be aware that you can't get achievements or trophies with them installed. I have to agree with this, honestly, because as a person who mods, I would usually, like with every Fallout experience, I would usually just play it normally, because, you know, just the way the game is meant to be played, and then afterwards I would go and find all the cool mods that I can find. So for me, this is definitely a fun thing to do after you're done playing. And after you've completed the main narrative, it's the best time to install them, as you don't have to worry about them ruining your story experience. However, be aware that you can't get achievements or trophies with them installed.
Yes.
Which, honestly, if you're someone that does mods like achievements and trophies, or you probably don't care about them that much. I know I don't.
I don't either.
But I can definitely also agree with this as being a thing to do after you beat the game. As someone who mods personally, I prefer to play the game in its vanilla state before modding it, because I want to play the game as it was intended to be played. So I definitely agree that mods is something to be done afterwards, if you choose to do it at all.
Yeah, for sure.
Are you good with the next one?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
For anybody listening, I took off a little too much skin off my lip, so I've been bleeding profusely for the last few minutes. So I'm gonna try to read this and not, you know, become
You
a fountain.
You can do it. I believe in you.
15 out of 16. Or number 15. We're counting down. Earn achievements or trophies. That's funny. That's funny that this was the next one. After you've beaten the main story, you'll likely have a decent number of achievements or trophies, yet it is very unlikely that you will have all of them. After all, there is a lot that you are unlikely to pick up naturally. Luckily, you can earn most of them after the main game is complete, and it won't be a short adventure, as a few take plenty of effort to acquire. It's worth it though, as not only do you get that satisfying sound of an achievement or trophy popping up, but you also get a reason to continue your journey in the Commonwealth. Sure. Sure, do achievements. I'm more of someone who's largely been like a cranky boomer about achievements.
Same.
That they're more of a time waster and an easy way for developers to get more hours out of their players without doing any work. Or any additional work, I should say.
That's fair.
Like making these, especially the really hard to get achievements, they're usually bullcrap. Like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm sure there's like those of you who do hunt achievements in the comments, like I'm not trying to knock it, because I know some of you just like really like getting achievements and stuff like that, but I know you have those ones that you were just like, I hated everything by the time I was done. I'm sure you have that. So please leave an example.
Please.
Unless, do you have one, Jared? I don't, you know.
Well, like I mentioned, like I'm not really an achievement or trophy hunter, so I don't have really like a good example of one, because I haven't done it in a long time. I mean, I know a good example of a just ridiculous, perfect example actually, in the game Stray, where you're a little kitty cat, which I've played. I don't know if you've played it or not, but it's an amazing game. If anyone hasn't played it, it's certainly worth picking up. But I think one of the achievements in that game was, because as a kitty cat, you can literally curl up in certain places and just like sleep, like catnap. And one of the achievements is to do that for a literal like hour, like an actual hour. Yeah. I don't know if that's true. I hope it's true, but someone did tell me that. And I promptly did not do that, because that is a waste of everyone's time, including mine. But a perfect example of a developer kind of padding out their content to get literally people to just sit there for an hour.
Yeah.
So your 9-hour game turns into a 10-hour game if you search for that. You know?
Yeah, it does.
Quite literally, quite frankly, doing absolutely nothing. Sleeping.
Literally, frankly.
Literally, frankly, literally.
Yeah. So what's the next one?
Moving on. 14 of 16. Follow the radio beacons. Radio beacons are something you will likely have encountered at some stage during your time playing the game, and you may be inclined to ignore them. Yet they have an actual purpose. Find out the purpose of each one, you must follow them and see where you end up. Some just let you know what has happened to a certain family, but others are major mysteries just waiting to be discovered. The latter ones will provide you with a bit of a challenge, as they force you to conduct an investigation, and these can be a lot of fun.
Should we need to do like a rating system of some kind, like if we agree that these are things that are worth doing or not? Should we do that?
Sure.
So modding is worth doing.
I think so.
Earning achievements or trophies, not worth it to me.
Not worth it.
But it depends on the person.
Sure.
If you're really into achievements, like I know people that are, like, fine. So follow the radio beacons, yes. Environmental storytelling is fun. I enjoy it, especially in Wastelandy games where, like, the people aren't here anymore. I wonder what happened. It's really fun to investigate those things.
I agree.
Yeah, and 76 has a lot of those too.
Does it?
You gotta promote 76 really quick.
Haven't played it in a little bit. I'm sorry. I've been trying.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's really hard to
it's
play
more
solo.
like holotapes. Yeah, it's more like holotapes than anything.
Hmm.
I think.
Okay. Yeah, there's lots of holotapes in 7.
Anyway, 13. Build. An activity that many people often overlook during the main quest is settlement building. This is mainly because people want to just crack on with the action rather than taking the time to build things. However, crafting... That first paragraph is just needlessly extended. Anyway, however, crafting and managing settlements is a lot of fun, and it really allows you to showcase your creativity in a way that nothing else in the game offers. It's one of the game's most underrated features, and should be explored by everyone when they have time after the story. It's not an underrated feature. It's a main feature that they like used in the promo of Fallout 4.
Right.
If anything, it's overrated.
Yes.
But this one I agree with. Also,
I also agree. I don't think the first time I played I built anything except for maybe some of the starter stuff in Sanctuary, like for the quests. I don't think I seriously started building till I started modding, because there's some really great building mods.
No, I think it was basically every playthrough, or close to every playthrough I did. Like, I would pick a spot and then just build up. And like the Starlight Drive-In especially is like the best like flat plane for building.
Yeah.
So I think I had multiple settlements set up on that one specifically. And in survival, it's almost required to have like different settlements set up, because those are like little checkpoints you can have that a bed's there and stuff like that.
Right. Makes
Or
sense.
a bed and water and stuff.
I always enjoyed the challenge of trying to build bases in like weird locations, like using the topography or the environment. Like, I think one of my favorites was it like under a bridge or under the freeway or something like that?
I think you're thinking of Grey Garden,
Maybe.
the one with the robots.
I don't know. I don't remember.
It's got an overpass right next to it.
That might be the one. I was just trying to build like a city there. Like it shouldn't, but you're like, I'm gonna do it anyways because that seems cool to me. I did like that.
So this is a viable thing, definitely, to do after you beat Fallout 4.
I mean, you certainly have more time to experiment with building after you're done with the main game.
Oh yeah, and even more, like, if you beat the game and haven't really touched the DLCs either, because the DLCs give you more stuff too to build with, especially Nuka World.
Yeah.
Where you can have raiders post up there instead of settlers.
Ooh.
I know that in my Fallout 4 playthrough, I believe, yeah, because I did play Nuka World, I had the chem dispensers. I had just a whole floor of chem dispensers because they just randomly generate chems, and I was like psycho buff nut. So
Nice.
like that was one of my one of my favorite things that I built was my chem dispenser. Like when I figured out how you could like patch the walls in the base name of the Minutemen.
The fortress thing?
Yeah, the fort thing.
The castle?
The castle. Yeah, that's such a simple name too, and I immersioned it.
And I don't know how I remembered it because I'm usually rubbish at remembering names.
Yeah, but when I learned how to patch the wall there, like that's one of the things that staticied me a lot when I could stack the foundations and like fill in that wall.
Yeah.
As perfectly as possible. There was no snapping either, so it was really challenging to do. But when I did, ooh, it was great. So what's the next one?
Coming up next, number 12 of 16, complete all companion quests. The companions in Fallout 4 are vast and unique, with each one offering something completely different to the game. While they all can impact the main quests, they all also offer other missions. Each companion has their own quests that are personal to their character. These missions provide a serious amount of backstory to the characters and help you understand them on another level. On top of that, many of these quests are very enjoyable and last long enough to keep you entertained for several hours. Yeah, I mean, I suppose, but I don't know if this is necessarily something to do after or something that you do while you're playing the game. I feel like I did companion stuff while playing and not after.
Yeah. Well, I also think usually like once you've picked one for the game, like you usually don't, at least for me, like I usually don't switch.
Yeah.
Until I get in that completionist mindset, which is usually post game or close to the end.
I guess so. That makes sense.
Yeah, because like they're showing Kiri on the. I don't know why she has an eye patch.
Does she have an eye patch?
No, that's just dirt.
Oh, it does.
Or a shadow. It's a shadow. Okay, it looked like she had an eye patch.
She looks like Big Boss.
A little bit, because she is a boss. Anyway, yeah, because Kiri is one of my favorites. Like once I found Kiri, like it was her or nobody.
Yeah,
like a lot of that because she's fantastic. But once I learned that each of them have a companion perk that they grant to you after you've raised their affinity, and then you don't have to have them on your team anymore after that. Then the incentive was there. So in Fallout 4's case, yes, it is worth doing, I think, because McCready's especially gives you like, it was broken at launch, but now it gives you like 20 to 30% headshot accuracy.
Wow.
And VATS, which is really good.
That's good.
At launch, it would just give you 95%. They had like an extra 0 on it.
Oh.
So it would just max out your headshot accuracy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. I think, is it not really your thing?
I mean, I don't know. I just feel like I did, but I think now, like after you describe like picking one and sticking with one, I feel like I probably did the same thing now that I'm thinking about it more. And it makes a lot of sense what you're saying. So I think I'm going to change and say that I also agree.
Okay.
Because I forgot about the perks thing.
Yeah. I mean, some of them give you like gifts too.
Mm-hmm.
Or little goodies or whatever. But like, yeah, once I knew there was something my character could keep after like dropping the companion, I'm like, yeah, I gotta get it.
That was mine. So you're next, bud.
Yes, I am. Yeah, how wonderful that this one is mine. 11 out of 16. Collect all the bobbleheads. Check out my guide. Finding bobbleheads might not be a priority during your first run through of Fallout 4. Once you have accomplished the main quest of the game, though, going around the map to try to find every hidden bobblehead can be entertaining. I don't think anybody talks this way. Also, it's a task that's more difficult than you might realize. So you will get a real sense of accomplishment after locating each one. Plus, the search will take you to parts of the map you may have previously missed. It's kind of like assuming the assisted search. So yeah, check out my guide.
Do it.
Yeah, this is worth a thing. Like you get something from every bobblehead.
Yeah.
So especially the attribute ones.
I actually kind of like the part about it saying the search will take you to places you may have previously missed. I think that actually is a great reason to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because there's a lot to see.
Yeah.
You know? And
a lot to pick up.
Indeed.
It's like 20 bobbleheads? Yeah, 20, I think. Oh, no. I saw the next one, too. That's when I start falling off. All right, what's the next one?
Let's see here. Number 10 out of 16. Collect all magazines.
No!
Magazines are another type of collectible that the game offers. These are just as tough to find as the bobbleheads. So you'll be forced to explore the Commonwealth. Forced at gunpoint. Not only is this incredibly fun to do, but it also opens up the opportunity for you to bump into other characters and start other stories. and finding them all is something certainly worth doing, as the detail put into them is really superb. You can then display them on a magazine rack. You sound like you have something to say about this.
I mean, besides how it's phrased,
We just gonna pretend that we're overlooking the way these are written.
yeah.
And
Okay,
phrased.
just for knowledge's sake, the Game of the Year edition of Fallout 4 has over 120 magazines
A lot.
to collect, and a lot of them probably won't benefit your character because they're super duper niche. Like a lot of the Live and Love magazines, especially, like if you don't travel with companions, like the majority of them won't matter. So even though I'm a person that made all of the magazines guides and then made a supercut of all of them together, I don't think it's something people should do. Because I suffered to get all of them in making those magazines guides. I think those did more damage to my channel than anything too.
Ooh,
Like because of how much time I've spent on them, where I could be doing something else.
right. I
But-
feel like the collection of magazines, especially if there's that many, is probably something you're gonna just do on accident. Like
Mhm.
let's just assume that there are no guides and you just have to go out
Yeah.
there and find these on your own. Like that's would be really difficult to do with that many. And
Mhm.
they don't really stand out. They're magazines, kind of rough looking, some of them, sure the colors maybe, but I feel like that's just something you're gonna do as you're playing the game. I don't know.
Yeah.
This isn't something that I would do.
I mean, the bobbleheads dealt with this too, but because there's not that many of them,
Right.
they can get a pass, and they're also easier to spot too. But
Yes.
the magazines in particular, they don't really get referenced by the world itself.
They're just kind of there.
They're just kind of there, yeah. So while like even all of the covers of these magazines, like all the art of these is great.
Yeah.
And the idea, like the titles that the kind of ideas the titles put in your head make you want to read these but you can't actually look, or at least I would want like one page that you can open it up to actually read more about like what the actual story is with the title of things.
That would be cool.
But they're just a collectible for collectible's sake and putting on a magazine rack that serves no other purpose than showing those front pages of the magazines or front covers, which again, the covers are great, but I wish there was more.
Yes.
Not like if there were less magazines to collect and they had more to them as a result, like I would rather that.
I think you're right. Like they should have content. Like I've seen games that include like comic book collectibles that you can find out the world, and they're full dadgum comics. And these are made by indie game developers, not a whole team, not a whole studio. It's definitely doable. Add to it like maybe an NPC somewhere who's like a collector, and you make a quest out of it. Boom. This is worth doing at that point.
Yeah. Well,
I would.
yeah, because they didn't really even have the Silver Shroud was like a separate thing. There wasn't really like a magazine or comic book related to it. There was the Grognak comics, which they do get a reference in world in 76.
Right.
One of the NPCs you can post up at your camp is a massive Grognak nerd. And also a super mutant, which makes it fun.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I don't think number 10, collect all magazines, should be something that somebody should strive for, because that's 120 something. You're gonna lose so much time of your life.
Yeah.
Where you could do probably anything else on this list and feel more of a sense of accomplishment.
I agree.
Or like if you watch my guide, pick and choose like the magazines that you want, like the ones that'll actually help your build.
That makes sense.
So what's the next one, sir?
9
I think
out of, is it? I don't remember who did the magazines now. Number 9 out of 16. Explore. This might not seem very specific or exciting, but exploring Fallout 4's vast map is worth doing. After all, there are so many interesting things to see and do. In fact, you may be surprised how much there is to find, as plenty of innocuous locations hold big secrets. Plus, there are many powerful enemies to be killed and useful items to be found. Attempting to see it all will take up plenty of your time. Yeah, I mean, I think this one's kind of a given.
For things to do after beating Fallout 4, I think you should do it the whole time you're playing Fallout 4.
Yeah. I mean, that is the game, is just
So
exploring.
Yeah, if we're talking about the context of, like, to do after Fallout 4, I disagree with the explore topic.
Yeah.
Because you should be doing that at all times. Like, that's part of what makes it fun.
Yeah, I agree and I disagree.
Oh.
Because, but for the same thing you just said, like, you should be doing it while you're playing and afterwards. So yes, I agree. Mm-hmm. But not only just in the end, but also during the middle. So I agree and I disagree.
Nice.
Scandalous.
8 out of... Man, they were scraping. 8 out of 16, talk to people.
Yes. Yes.
There are tons and tons of characters that can be found within Fallout 4, and nearly all of them have something interesting to say. It is very unlikely that you would have bumped into every single character during the main quest. Therefore, going around the map and finding the different characters that can be spoken to makes for a fun objective. While not everyone has something good to say that's repeated, many of the characters have tons of dialogue that can lead to more things to do.
Ooh boy.
Yeah, duh. So I agree, I guess.
But again, like explore, you should probably be doing this while you're playing the game because you know, narrative storytelling.
Not to plug my merch again, but like immersion.
Yeah.
Get immersed, talk to the people, get to know them. The one they're showing here is the really nice ghoul lady from Good Neighbor, Daisy. That's her name. She's a sweetheart. Get to know Daisy.
Get to know Daisy. Dude, there's a t-shirt.
Go say hi to her. Yeah. I think you can hit on her too. So
there
yeah,
you
go hit on Daisy.
Do it.
Tell her she looks nice today.
Yeah.
Next up.
Okay.
Unless you had something to say.
I didn't.
It's real straightforward.
I am not an NPC to be talked to. Number 7 out of 16, DLCs. For those willing to get them, the DLCs, that's downloadable content for the layman, are not part of the main storyline in Fallout 4. Therefore, there are plenty of stories for people to delve into if they really want to continue their Fallout 4 experience. There are several story ones, such as Automatron, Far Harbor, and Nuka World. While there are positives to each one, Far Harbor is arguably the best, which you can also experience if you saw was it the last PIPCAST we did where we rated the DLCs, or was that the one before? I can't remember.
Was it the last one?
Anyways, while you're doing that, I'll read the rest of this.
You're making me look.
Sorry. Of course, the DLCs demand you to part way with some money to bring them in, but if you want to stick with the game, then these add-ons are a great method of doing so.
To answer your question, yes. That was our last
Yes.
our last episode.
Yes.
Was ranking the DLCs and some spicy takes.
So spicy.
I think we ranked both Far Harbor and Nuka World pretty highly.
Yeah, I think they were both number 1. I know Far Harbor was at least in the number 1 spot, or S tier or whatever it was. I mean,
because it is good.
So I have to agree with this because by the time DLCs come out, I've well beaten the game.
Yeah, it's usually a post game thing to do.
Yeah,
or designed in a way to be a post game activity. So yeah, that makes sense. Number 6, find all the hidden quests. It's so easy. At this point, it should be known that any game made by Bethesda is going to be full of hidden goodies to find. This is why Fallout 4 is a game that can be played for an endless amount of time. There are tons of hidden quests all over the place just waiting for people to find them. These quests are not always detailed, but they can be exciting and offer rare rewards, such as magazines and special armor, making them worth your while. It'll take plenty of searching to locate them all, though. They talking about side quests?
I don't know what they necessarily mean by hidden.
Not hidden quests. The verbiage here implies that it's not actually hidden quests. It's more side quests that the game is designed in a way for you to find them. Yeah. Like, sometimes it spoon feeds them to you. In the case of Piper, for example.
Right. She's just kind of there.
Yeah, she's there. Like, she is your way into the city. You have to meet her.
Right.
And she has to be like, oh, Blue, you want to interview? Newspaper. That's my Piper impression. I'm here all week.
Oh, good. Yeah. I feel like this just can be, honestly, this could just be wrapped into explore and talk to people.
Yeah. That, like, those are, all three of those things are, like, kind of under the explore banner.
Yeah.
Meet new people, see new things, do different quests. Like, that's all kind of in the same thing. So yes, but also during the rest of the game.
Yes. Number 5, survivor mode. Another idea for those who have completed the main mode is to try out Fallout 4's survival mode. Wow. Something's happening. Something's happening. I've been irradiated. I can't talk anymore.
Yep.
As the name suggests, it's the most difficult version of the game and will take you to your absolute limits. It makes some changes you expect, like making enemies tougher and you weaker. But it also does things like disable autosave, add fatigue, and force you to hydrate to stay alive. So it isn't a mode for the faint of heart.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with this. No. Actually, no.
Oh.
Actually, no, I don't.
Okay.
After beating the game, is this article assuming that you're still playing the same save? Because once you switch survival mode on, then you can't switch it back off. I would not recommend survival mode on an existing save because you've already surpassed the power curve.
Right.
By the time you beat the game, everything's going to be like almost nothing in survival mode. Unless you like speed ran. But why would you do that if you're enjoying and exploring and talking to people and doing hidden quests?
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
Also, I thought it was funny that this one was titled Survivor Mode and it's called Survival Mode, and they said it right in the paragraph.
Yeah.
They said Survivor and Survival Mode.
Great.
I think it's funny. Oh yeah, because the next one have you played Survival Mode, Jared? I know you beat Fallout 4 once.
I said that, didn't I? I'm sure I've tried it, but I don't think I've ever played it for like a long period of time. I don't know. Like when I play Fallout, I like to just play Fallout. I don't. The survivor mode. God, thanks, article. Is it survivor mode or survival mode? Now I don't know.
It's survival mode.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Survival mode in Fallout's never really appealed to me. Like I like survival games in general and other games.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason in Fallout, even though it makes sense, it's never really appealed to me.
In 4, it's brutal. It's like one of the most brutal survival games, I guess, that I've played.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't think I've actually ever tried it in Fallout 4.
It is fun, but it does have like, because of like even how the saves work, like you have to sleep to save kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
People do mod that out, by the way. Like if that's the thing that's stopping you, like there's mods out there, I'm sure. No, there is mods out there. I'm not. Yeah.
You can think of it, there's someone's modded it.
Yeah, probably. It's a completely different vibe, and also the pacing is slowed way down. Because you are always checking your sides, you're always peeking around corners, you're always always head on a swivel because of the increased lethality. And while they did say that it makes you weaker, that's not entirely true, because it kind of makes everybody weaker.
Right.
Everybody's weaker to bullets.
Which
and explosives.
I kind of like the idea of that, so I might give it a try at some point. I like the idea of everyone being on kind of equal ground.
Kind of.
To a degree.
Yeah. Molotovs are still busted and awful when they're thrown at you because they're almost instantaneous.
Yeah.
And if you get hit by them, especially early on, you'll just die in survival.
I mean,
yeah.
That tracks.
Yeah.
It's Molotov.
Yeah.
They're not pretty.
So, for anybody who hasn't tried survival mode, by the way, don't go to the Corvega factory too early, because you will get Molotoved so much and not be able to do anything about it. And there is, by the way, there is a bed on the overpass right next to the Corvega factory. That's a freebie for you.
Nice.
Or a mattress. It's not really a bed.
Have you made a guide of survival mode?
I made a tips and tricks and called it survival before survival mode came out.
Oh, I see.
So it still applies to the game, but it doesn't apply to survival mode.
Got it.
Because survival mode has a lot of different things to it, like the adrenaline system, which is really cool too. The more kills you get, the more damage you'll deal, but adrenaline goes away when you go to sleep. So it's a risk reward thing.
Like raging.
Yeah. The longer you rage, the higher the risk is that you'll get killed.
Yeah.
And have to restart completely.
Ooh, interesting.
But you'll do more damage.
Wow.
So anyway,
sounds pretty cool.
4 out of 16. Yeah. Replay it. Replay Fallout 4. So easy. 4 out of 16. There are so many options and avenues that you can go down during the main quest of Fallout 4. After all, it's a game where your choices really impact your experience. Debatable. Therefore, there are plenty of reasons to play through the adventure a second time. This is just me talking, by the way, right now. I say debatable, but there are the 4 big choices, which is who you side with, which Fallout 4 did pretty well. How well written all of those factions are, that's part of the debatable part too. Anyway, I'm going to keep reading. Perhaps you want to side with other people, be eviler, or try a completely different build. Whatever changes you decide to make, your second run will likely be very different from your first. Debatable. And it might alter your viewpoint of the main story. So they're mainly just talking about making different, faction choices.
Which, I mean, to my own detriment, I only played through it once, so I only got to experience one of the choices, I guess. So I could see this being a good thing to do after you finish it. Like, why not go back and try something else?
Yeah. And, you can try new builds, but there's also no level cap. So
just do whatever you want, whenever you want.
Yeah. You have the opportunity, especially after finishing the game, to just go full sandbox fun build mode and build into the perks you didn't get to try yet. Find a good spot to grind out XP and just get all the levels you want.
There's probably a mod for that to make it easier.
Yeah. I mean, that, things to do after beating Fallout 4. This is another no-brain.
Yeah.
Yes, you're going to replay it. Obviously. It's a matter of when. If you liked it, that is.
I mean, to be fair.
If you didn't like playing Fallout 4, why did you beat it in the first place? You were just waiting for it to get good.
I can honestly say that I have replayed it. I just haven't refinished it. Because that's my biggest thing. I love Fallout, and I always have. And I've played it to death. But, I play it so much and do all the side stuff, then I burn myself out before I even get close to finishing it again. And then it starts over again, down the road. I'm I'm going to reinstall it and then load all my mods on and play it till I burn out again, and I've only made it this far again. I do it to myself, but that's unfortunate for me.
Yeah.
Still have fun.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes down to it, that's the most important thing. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what else is fun, according to this list?
I can tell you at least the third most fun thing you can do after you finish this game. That's brave the glowing sea. The glowing sea is something that you have to visit. You have to, in order to complete the main quest of Fallout 4. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't return to it. Glowing sea contains multiple things to find that you likely will have missed out on during your first visit. Of course, going to the body of water comes with risks due to the high levels of radiation. But that only adds to the excitement. You okay?
Go on. Sorry, I was interrupting. Sorry.
You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure you're prepared to face the dangers. Tell me, Caedo, your thoughts.
The body of water. It's not, though.
But it's called the glowing sea.
It's...
I'm convinced that these are written by an AI.
Was this from the edit?
Surely
Was this
not.
from the person who added more? Like...
I don't know.
Was this a translation issue? What was this? What happened here? Return the body of water is not the same as saying the glowing sea. That's not the same. It's never going to be the same.
No, you're correct.
It's just really funny.
Yeah. Like I said,
That being said,
I'm almost certain this was written by an AI. Like they just put in some keywords. The glowing sea.
Matthew, are you a synth?
I hope not.
If we ask you, you have to tell us.
That's the rule.
The 3 laws or something.
Yes. Harm no human something.
Well, yeah, this is a viable thing. This is a thing that you can do after beating Fallout 4. Explore more of the glowing sea. Because that's where you'll find the hardest enemies. That's where you'll find a crap ton of radiation. That's where you'll find some locations that have some interesting stuff in them. And some lore. Yeah. And the most post-apocalyptic radiation-filled wasteland in the entirety of Fallout 4. Because it's highly radioactive.
It's glowing.
Go there naked.
Oh.
That should have been something on the list. Brave the glowing sea without armor.
Oh.
Yeah. That's what it should have been. Take notes, Matthew.
If that's your real name.
If that's your real name. Okay.
Yes.
Number 2. We're almost there. Quincy Ruins. The Quincy Ruins is an area in Fallout 4 that you do not have to visit at all during the main quest. Therefore, unless you have randomly come across it, this should be a totally fresh area for you to explore when the game is over. It's not just a random place either. This is where the Minutemen originally came from, and their betrayers still inhabit the area. So if you have a serious alliance with them, then going to avenge them could be a fun task to do. I think this is the best entry of this list.
Okay.
Because the Quincy Ruins are optional, and the Minutemen having a history there is accurate. And there's just a lot of stuff. Like, I made a video with Fudge Muppet of the Quincy Ruins.
Okay.
Like, there's a lot of stuff there. And like it's a bummer that some of the content was likely cut to do with the Minutemen and Quincy, because I wanted to know more. But even you got some gunners to take out there too.
Yeah.
And I think those are some of the hardest gunners you'll fight as well.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah. So this one I fully agree with.
Okay.
With no hint of irony whatsoever.
I agree as well, because I trust you.
Well,
I remember the place.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I've been to Quincy. I remember it in the game, playing it, and the gunners and all that stuff. But I mean, I think I just did it while I was playing the game. I'm not saying it's not a bad thing or a good thing to do at the end of the game, but I've always ever done it while I was playing, so it's hard for me to say that it's best played after you've beaten the game. I don't know. I feel like because you get to learning about the Minutemen so early on in the game. I feel like waiting till the end of the game to go to this place, which is very monumental in their history, saving that till after you've beaten the game seems like a long time considering how early the Minutemen are introduced into the game. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
just
still really easy to get super distracted. Like
Sure.
you're after Sean, and you will do literally everything else before you find Sean.
Yeah.
Or you can, I guess. So I don't know. I don't know if it's too outside the norm to like just miss Quincy entirely. Especially if a lot of people are annoyed by Preston Garvey and just don't want to have anything to do with him. So there's that too.
The settlement needs your help. The settlement needs your help.
Yeah. Poor Preston.
Yeah.
I want him to be in the sequel and not be a Radiant Quest giver.
Yeah.
I want him to have a chance to shine.
That would be
as an
cool.
actual character and not a quest board.
Yeah, it's too bad.
So number 1, it's on you, bro.
The absolute best thing that you can do after you've beaten the game of Fallout 4 is try another Fallout title. So cheeky. If Fallout 4 is the only game in the franchise you've played, then heading off to purchase another one would be a great idea if you're looking for more Fallout entertainment. Also not sponsored by Bethesda or the Fallout franchise. While the other installments of the franchise offer slightly different experiences, the core gameplay and ideology behind it are the same. Anyone who enjoys Fallout 4 would likely thrive playing one of the older versions of the series.
I think they're just surface level ideology. War never changes. I'm pretty sure it's that.
There's a reason that Fallout has built up such a strong reputation for itself, and that is all down to how good the games are. Therefore, going to play another one is always going to be a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. So I agree. However, if we scroll all the way back up, I should say, it says try another Fallout game and shows a screenshot of Fallout New Vegas.
Yes.
I scroll all the way up to the top.
Okay.
And let's see. There is so much going on. Quote, I'm quoting right now. There's so much going on that the game certainly does not end when the main quest has been completed. And that is especially true in Fallout 4, which is arguably the strongest game in the franchise.
I see what you're going for here.
This bait and switch at the very beginning was probably just that. Because of the cheeky number 1.
Yeah.
Because they're like, go play Fallout New Vegas.
Number 1 spot's just kind of a nice little
They didn't suggest anything in the text, but in the image, I get what I'm picking up what they're putting down.
Yeah, it's just a nice little into the article cheekiness.
I think I figured it out. It's not that Matthew's a synth. It's not that Matthew is a fan of Fallout 4 and doesn't know how to talk like a real person. It's that he's a New Vegas fan.
Oh.
And it's a cry for help. Because he's been forced to write about Fallout 4, which is clearly not the best Fallout game, but it's New Vegas.
Yes, I see.
According to Matthew.
To
be clear.
Yes. I mean, why else would he have chosen this picture?
Yeah, why else?
Could have been any. There's been several other titles.
It wouldn't that wasn't a bait and switch at the beginning, it was sarcasm. But he didn't do /S, so none of us know that it was sarcasm, except for me, because I just figured it out.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Should tweet.
I'm a genius.
Tweet Matthew right now. Like, listen here.
Let's find him on Twitter. Be like, hey, is this satire? Is this whole thing just a giant plug for New Vegas?
Okay. Lots of
soccer. Before we go too far off the rails.
Sorry.
For those of you who are not bored to tears by our coverage of the 16 things to do after you beat the game for Fallout 4, What is something that is glaringly obvious that is missing that you think should have been part of this list? Because I know there's so many. There's so many things you can do post game in Fallout 4 that this didn't even scratch the surface. Please share. Also, any suggestions, like titles of articles that are in the Gamer that you'd like us to critique, make fun of, maybe give some props to once in a while, like the Quincy Ruins one. Yeah, that was that was just good choice. If it was more of that in the rest of the list, it'd be a good list.
Body of water.
Body of water. The glowing sea. Body of water.
That was the MVP.
Yep, that's MVP for how not correct something is.
The funny thing is, like, when I was reading it, because I was just like reading it, I wasn't really paying attention to necessarily what I was saying, because I was trying to pronounce everything properly without stuttering, because I can't talk normal today for some reason. I didn't even notice that until you said something.
Laughing is making my lip hurt. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, please, tell us what you thought, and if this was a good or a bad Gamer article or whatever. So let's go on to what we're playing and doing. Sarge is playing State of Decay 2.
Nice.
But Sarge isn't here, so he can't talk about it. It's a zombie game. But I remember last time that Sarge said he was playing Deathloop. And I picked it up on Game Pass, and I played it, and I beat it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And?
It would have been 2 weeks ago now. I very much enjoyed it.
I've been thinking about trying it myself.
Yeah. It's, as I assumed, it was more of a honing of what they already did with Mooncrash for Prey, the Mooncrash DLC.
Okay.
Which was another kind of looping situation where you're, instead of playing the same character, you're playing multiple characters in the same span of time.
Oh.
So you play one of them, you learn more, you play the other ones, you learn more, and then you try to get them all to escape in one sequence.
Okay.
Whereas in Deathloop, you're just trying to break the loop by assassinating 7 people in one day. So it's kind of similar. Or like it's polished to a mirror sheen almost is the maybe a better way to put it. How it was in Mooncrash versus how it is now. I'm just going blah 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 blah. Deathloop is fun. Also, some of the most primo voice acting I've heard in a while in a game, or primo performances and voice acting by the characters. Colt and Juliana, their dynamic is hilarious all the way through. And I enjoyed it very much. And I also enjoyed the assassination targets. Like, there were some surprises here and there where you make friends with characters you didn't expect. And while you and Colt and Juliana are supposed to be the only people that know that it's looping, there is potentially one or more other characters that know that the world is also looping. Because the majority of people don't wake up from the nightmare of reliving the same day over and over and over. They don't retain that. They just do the same thing, or it's immortality in the worst possible way, basically. But Colt and Juliana and potentially a couple other characters know that the time is looping, and Colt wants to break it. Juliana wants to keep it going. And I think it's cool. It's fun. Anyway, also played Solasta with you and with Kite and with Dakoba. And then I left a poor review about its co-op because me and Kite got to a certain point and they were getting black screens, and I had Kite host for a bit, and one of us kept getting like desynced or black screening again or whatever, and it was just not fun at that point.
Makes me sad.
There was also a random encounter with a bunch of spiders, And by the time we killed all the spiders, we realized that there was another one in the stack, and it was nowhere to be found.
Oh,
and
good.
The exit grids didn't work.
Cool.
Yeah, so we were just... that's when we stopped playing.
to be fair, I believe co-op was added later, so it's probably not super polished, and maybe that they'll fix it.
That's
with time.
My understanding too. Yeah.
I hope so, because I had fun when we played.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
I really
that's why I left. That's why I left that review with the extra bit that, like, I will change the review if things improve, because I will check back every once in a while. Because what is there is really fun, but co-op is undercooked.
Yeah.
And then another game that I played, just because I saw it on Game Pass and I was like, all right, let's try it. It's something stupid. Is Deer Simulator. It's kind of like Goat Simulator, but you're a deer. You can do like the attach to things and fling yourself or whatever, but it's with your entire head, like your neck stretches out instead of like a tongue.
Oh my.
You can pick up guns and they mount like up all over your body, and you're like shooting things and running around and stuff like that. And the story of the game becomes pretty crazy pretty quickly. Like, you don't think there's a story, you think it's just like nonsense and mayhem. And then like every time you increase the crime level, like there's a different level of like weird furry creature cop that's after you. And it gets more and more ridiculous. Like it turns into like a bunny rabbit that's running around with big old guns at times, and then eventually you get like transforming cars that transform into polar bears.
Why?
Like, it's a polar bear like inside the car, but it's kind of like a transformer. It's weird. Wow. It's really weird. And then you like travel through a different dimension after you defeat all the cops and open a secret portal, and then you travel to like the neon future where there's like a whole new plethora of weapons to pick up and different like now like underworld based cops to fight. It's very strange. By the end it's very odd what twists and turns happen. But I was pleasantly surprised by the end boss fight too, that it started going easier and easier on you the more you lose. Because it felt very punishing. So I was grateful for them to be like, okay, you get a little bit more health this time. Okay, you get a little more health this time. Because I'm like, I can't get this jumping down, man. Like there's a rhythm to this and I'm just not getting it. Because it had this one thing where you have to like jump over some lasers and it started accelerating pretty rapidly.
Oh boy.
Yeah, like a laser jump rope. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, good.
But it was a fun short game to play for sure. I chose to angrily play Cyberpunk because of, well, if you listen to the Cyberpunk news section, you know why. I decided to angrily play Cyberpunk again, to simply go through and record any clips that the game was just not working right or like visually offensive. And I already sent Jared one, but I have to censor that one if I'm going to publish it anywhere.
Yeah. Pretty bad.
But I'm sure there's more to come, but I only have like so much time in me every session to like play Cyberpunk before I'm just like, okay, that's enough for now. I should do something else, either productive or something that's not Cyberpunk, whichever. But then those something else's that I did was playing more Oblivion, because I'm really like digging into Oblivion again.
Yeah.
Like over the last month now. But also I made my second Oblivion video, because I made one last week, a tips and tricks, and I made one this week, which will be published yesterday, which would be Saturday. It's a Daedric Quests guide, and it's a fairly long one. It's like a 37-minute guide. of the Daedric quests. Because the pacing was a little bit slower because, for one, Sean Bean, as Martin, has something to say about just about every Daedric artifact in the main quest. Because you have to sacrifice one of them to get into Cameron's Paradise. So I included all of his lines for what he says about the Daedric artifacts, as well as the locations of them, what they do, and also how to get Black Soul Gems, because that's something you need for one of the Daedric princes for them to talk to you. So
Yes.
that I tried to pack it to the brim with details and stuff about doing those Daedric quests. So I hope that people enjoy it.
Y'all go
Yeah.
watch that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Or else.
So-
No, I mean, I'm just kidding.
Or else.
I'm not threatening y'all. I'm not threatening y'all.
And I did the merch thing, obviously.
Immersion.
Immersion. Maybe they're immersion. Anyway. What have you been doing, Jared?
I've been playing a lot of Slime Rancher. And Slime Rancher 2. Early
see that.
access.
Yeah.
I started with the first one because I hadn't played it before. And my understanding was the second one was a direct continuation of the first one, so I decided I would play the first one first. And I was hooked. And I played it and I beat it. I didn't collect all the things you can collect, but I did, I got through the main story-ish.
You got all the achievements?
Nope. Nor the trophies.
Oh.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I think I've mentioned it every podcast or PIPCAST since I've been back doing it. That I've just been in a weird funk for gaming. Honestly, has continued off and on, trying to find games that I want to play that are appealing to me in some whatever way or fashion. And for some reason, that Slime Rancher did it for me. I got home and I wanted to play it. So currently playing 2, but I'm kind of teetering on waiting for more content to come out because it's early access.
Yeah.
And I hate getting to the end of early access and then having to wait. I'd rather just wait now and then play it all when it comes out.
That's why I'm waiting for Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah. Yeah, well, some of us already bought it.
Yeah.
Another game I've been playing is a game called Proteus, which is kind of a Doom game, old Doom, but new tech. So it kind of has this old Doom feeling, but there's a lot to it that's very polished and modern. It's really cool. It's fun, just kind of fast-paced, shoot everything, gory, super shotguns, balls of steel. Duke Nukem, Doom type stuff. Just lots of shooting and, I haven't been paying attention to the story. I have no idea what's going on. It's just fun to run.
Ooh, it's got that low FPS reload too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's snazzy.
Yeah, it's fun to play. It's extremely satisfying. Bunch of cool weapons. I dig in the shotguns. To me are the most satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a fun game. I play it a little here, a little there when I feel like shooting stuff. And several other things, but nothing worth mentioning, I suppose. I think I haven't mentioned before anyways. But I guess I have to talk about the test that I took at the beginning of the PIPCAST. If you're still here, congratulations. You're awesome. If you're not
here, you get to see the PALS results or hear the PALS results.
I took a test while we were doing the PIPCAST, and I said I'd share the results, so I'm gonna.
It's the Bethesda BuzzFeed quiz for the 25th anniversary thing called PALS or whatever.
That's the thing. That's the one. Yeah. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna make no sense because no one saw the questions. But I got the enlightened, wise enough to see currency for what it is and the lighthouse for all it could be. It's clear you were a poopa on the path to true awakening, and through the enlightened you shall hatch. Take that.
Oh,
Aren't you
not
glad?
pupa. Pupa.
That's, yeah. Body of water.
That's okay. That sounds like Mothman related. Is
It
that
could be.
okay?
There are some moths around this dude.
I'm gonna guess Mothman cultist, enlightened man, guy, person. Thanks for taking the Fallout 25th anniversary BuzzFeed quiz.
You're welcome.
I can't wait to see what the 50th anniversary one is.
Oh boy.
Download your new consciousness today.
Oh.
Just take a quiz just to change your whole person. I'm very tired. Okay.
Yes.
Thanks everyone for hanging out with us in the PIPCAST 3000. We miss you, Sarge. Get better.
Yes.
And or feel better. And for the rest of you, I don't know. Hope you have a good couple of weeks. And play something that you find fun. Get your achievements if that's what you want. Have a nice treat. Have a nice snack. Like and subscribe. And go to sleep. Goodbye.